Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So a couple of you asked for me to paint her and a little bit of shading, so I thought, okay, great, I will. So as you can see, as a lot of the times I erase what I drew because I don't want the graphite to be picked up in the paint. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I really love that look. On this one I don't. I'm not going to. I'm using a little bit of extender, which is a drying time extender. And what it does is, as you see when I mix the paint, it'll just help it not dry out as fast on my paper because I'm going to be mixing it and and not using all the colors right away. So I don't want it to dry real fast. So it's going to help me out. So I'm just using a face color named Light Fresh. Light Fresh. Oh my God, I'm so light and fresh. Light Flash from Folk Art, and then I'm mixing it with a Parchment. The color is Parchment from Folk Art. And I'm mixing them together right there, and I use the blending solution, and I'm going in with the medium color to lay down the base color. And I'm just putting it all over, because once it dries light, and I'll be able to see the little bit of graphite that I have left through it, as you can see now. And I'm going in and I'm laying down a little bit more paint, but I'm using the darker color now, and I'm putting it in under the eyes and the chin and around the face. And it's just going to add a little bit of color. And I'm putting it above the lips as well. Use whatever colors you want. I love doing this in white and black as well, and doing the shading. I love doing it all over the place. And now I'm just doing a little bit of the neck, and it'll be a little darker right underneath the neck and on the sides of the neck, and a little lighter on the inside. Now, this is just going to be a little folk art girl, nothing, uh, you know, realistic or anything like that. I like doing the round faces, folk art girls, and I like doing these. So she's looking to the, 3/4 way, and I'm just laying in some of that light paint, and I'm just blending it all together. The same brush. I don't go wash it off. I just kind of wipe it off on a different piece of paper, because all the same colors are going to blend, and it's just going to help a little bit. And I'm adding the lighter color in on the cheek area, because when you look in the mirror, when you have light, you'll see that your cheeks get that little bit of reflective, and that's all I'm adding in there. I'm adding it down the face where the nose is. Now, mind you, this is a 3/4 face, so you're not going to have it straight on. So that's why I added some of the shadow in there in the beginning, the darker color. And that's why I did some of the light. Now you're going to see that it's dry. I let it dry and I came back, and you can see a lot of the shading now. And it looks a little odd because there's nothing else on her face, but we're going to go in and draw some of her features with a paintbrush. This is one of my nasty old paintbrushes that is beat up. I really need to get new paintbrushes. And it's just a small paintbrush. It's called a spotter. And I have a little bit of dark brown from Folk Art that I'm going to be using. But first, I'm going to use my honey brown, and that's from Americana. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to just sketch out lightly where my eyes are going to go. And I'm using the bottom underneath as a little bit of a guide, but not really. You're going to see I make the eye a little bit too long here, so I have to go back and I'll show you how to fix that, because it bothered me. But it's not a big deal, and it's very fixable, and it's no big deal. We're just playing. We're just having fun. So I'm going in and I'm just drawing my nose again, and, adding the features again. My eyebrows, the other eyebrow. I'm going to trace out the lips, and I'm going to trace out the face and the neck, as you're going to see. There I go, the lips. And remember, the one side of the face where the lips are, it's going to be smaller because you're not going to be able to see it as much when it's turned. So you get a little bit of a shorter, lip going on there, so you don't draw it as long. And now I'm just going in. I'm going to do the neck and the chin and go around the face. And I go around that little dip on the side of the face, because where the eye is, we have that little dip. And I keep going in, a little bit of paint at a time. I'm kind of sketching it on the color. And I use that as a guide also for when I cut it, which you'll see. And I'm going in, and I'm not going to do the middle part of the lip, because I'm going to be painting them, and it's not going to matter that that's in there yet. That'll be at the end. Now I'm just tracing out the neck. Very exciting. Now I'm showing you that's a very long, that's a very long eye. I did it. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix that. So what I do is I wet my brush with nothing else on it. And you see I go over that just with the water and the brush and it'll take it right off for me. And I'm going in and I did that. And now I'm going to go in with more of the paint and I'm going to draw it, except I'm going to make it a little smaller. There you go. And it's fixed. Voila, voila, voila. I don't know. Is it voila, voila, viola, vola? I don't know. There you go. That's how I'm saying it. So I got it in there and I fixed the eye up. Now I'm going to take some white paint. I'm wiping off that brown because I end up with brown all over me. All right. So I'm using the Liquitex Heavy Body Titanium White. And I'm going to color in, paint in the eyes with the white. Now I'm using these because my new gig this year is using up all the art supplies I have. I have a lot of Golden and I have a lot of Liquitex. I have a lot of System 3s and I don't want them to go to waste. So I'm just going to start using them all the time. I'm just going to mix them in with my craft paint. I enjoy craft paint. I like craft paint. I think, you know, the white paint I'm using here, the titanium white, is kind of thick, as I'm showing you here. But it's fine. It's going to work, and I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to lose it. Because I'm just going to be using it all the time. But, of course, use whatever you have. If you only have markers, use a marker. If you only have crayons, use your crayon. Use whatever you have. All right, so I paint those in. And now, what am I going to do? What did I do? This is why I don't do this. Oh, I'm painting more white in just to, yeah, it needed a little bit more white. That's right. A little bit more white. That's right. That's right. Uh-huh. All right. I'm probably talking a lot. Like I said, my dogs might have been barking at that moment because that's what happened. They were barking and then decided to run around my art room wrestling, which I just didn't want you guys to have to endure. So I'm drawing it with my heat gun. I love my heat gun. You can see it's all full of paint. I use it all the time and I love it. But if you don't have a heat gun, use a hair dryer. You know, it's just as good. And if you don't have a hair dryer, go to the thrift store. I tell you guys all the time. They have them there for a couple bucks and you can buy them there and use them as your art. Or leave it sit and dry for 10 minutes. It'll do the same thing. So now I'm going to go in with some light green paint. And the color I'm using is Granny Smith. And I'm just going in and putting in my eyeball color. What's it called? Not the pupil, but the other thing. The color of your eye. And I'm making it, of course, I make most of them green because my daughter has hazel eyes. So I'm going in with the light and I'm laying that down first and just eyeing it up. You can definitely use a template if you have one or you want to. I have my circle templates I use all the time, but on here I just said, you know what, I'm just going for it. Now I'm taking some green, darker paint, and I'm using chromium oxide green from Liquitex, but you use whatever green you have. And you can do this with markers as well or watercolor paints as well. And I'm just outlining there, you're going to see. I'm going to leave her a cat eye for a second and go into the other eye. And I'm just going to paint it in all the dark green, just leaving a little bit of that light green coming through. And if I was authentically doing my daughter's eyes, I would have to add some brown in there because she has hazel, but I'm doing green today, bright green. And you see, I just put it all over there and just leave a little bit of that light coming through, which I like. But you just want to do them one green, go for it. You want to do them brown, go for it. You want to do them red, go for it. It's all in what you like. So now, how now, brown cow? All right. Here we go, yo. What are we doing, Cal? What are we doing? I'm probably giving you a just saying what I did and letting it dry. And I'm explaining because you can see I'm talking with my hands because I talk with my hands all the time. I painted my nails a real nice color and now they're full of paint, but that's why I don't have long nails. Because I love them when they're painted and then, you know, I guess it's better walking around with them on my nails than on my face or my hair that I usually walk around with paint on. Paint, glitter, all kinds of stuff. I go to the doctors and I don't know. You know how it is, I'm sure if you guys paint, y'all know. So now I'm going in for the lips, and I want to do a darker brown color rather than a red, like a, this is Bambi Brown from Ceramicoat, one of my favorite colors. I would like to smear this all over my lips because I love it. Nice neutral, and that's what I'm putting in there. You put whatever color you like. And I'm just laying that in there. And you can see, how the lip is shorter on the one side than the other because of the way the face is. But that's perfectly how it's supposed to be. And I'm going into making the bottom lip a little bit bigger. And she looks like a wild woman with those eyes, but I'm going to fix that in a second. She's a wild woman. I'm just touching up the Bambi Brown. And that's a great shading color too. I love using that color as well. All right, now I'm explaining the lips to you there now. That the one side's a little, bigger than the other. Now I just have a black marker. You can use any type of, Sharpie, Bic, permanent marker that you have. Use your black paint. I tend to do this when my hands start hurting. I just will use a marker, and I'm just putting it in the middle of the eye and kind of making it bigger as it goes. But you'll see what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because they're big eyes, they're surprised eyes, and I want to have a lid on them, an eyelid. So I'm going to take that Bambi Brown again and my brush, my paintbrush. Nope, first, that's right. First, I took the Buff Beige, and I went in with my small brush, and I kind of went over it as my, faux primer, so to say, so I can see where it's at. You see how I did it, and it took that marker off? I'm going to do it on the other side too. And it, it just makes it have a little bit of dimension there. But I want to add a little bit of, color because our eyelids have the color. Now you can use a color that you want if you want her to have eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Buff Beige again, or Bambi Brown. What was it? Yeah, Bambi Brown. I'm going to use the Bambi Brown, and you're going to see that real quick. I'm telling you, it's the same color as I used on the lips. And I'm going in, and now I'm going to layer that in on top of the cream color that I just put down. And you see, you can really go to town and add, shading for the eyeshadow as well. But I'm just doing it as a faux type eyelid kind of thing, eyelid / eyeshadow. And I'm just laying it down. Now the color I put underneath, you don't have to do. I did it, like I said, as a gesso of sorts to kind of make this pop a little bit more. And I'm showing you the pupils because I'm going to have to go down and make the pupils bigger because me putting the eyelids on kind of cut the one pupil out. But it's not a big deal. You'll see. And I'm just pulling that underneath a little bit. And you see how the eyes look a little bit different. And I'm taking my marker and I'm bringing down that pupil a little bit more. And a little bit more. And I'm going to do a little bit more of the eyelid over on the smaller side. Just like that. And just bring it down a little bit more, and then I'll add a little bit more of her pupil there. And it's just, it's a little give and take. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Everybody got their own way. Everybody got their own thing, and this just happens to be how it works for me. I'm really liking that lipstick color, even though it's paint. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out because I'm going to use it on a canvas. I don't do hair all the time because I like to put her on a canvas and see what I'm doing. And I save the paper I cut out because I'm going to be using that for some other projects. And I'm just going in and cutting it. And I'm cutting some of that line off, that brown line that I have as my guide. But once I put her on my canvas, then I'll go back and play with the face a little bit more and, add her hair. And the hair's going to cover up a lot of that on the face. And it's just a little bit. And I'm just going to lay her there, and then there she is. Now, like I said, you can see the shading in there, and I'm talking, I hate that I had to forward this fast because of my dogs. Now I'm going in and I'm going to line a little bit, and I'm going to show you another time when you mess up what to do. And I really messed up on here, and I love messing up because it shows you guys what to do when you mess up. So I do the line, and it is with a Zig brown marker. Don't know the name. Smudge proof. It doesn't have an, oh, sepia, sorry. And I messed up. Now this is a permanent, but it's not permanent yet. So I took water on my brush like I do, and I just went in there, made her look like she had a cold sore. And I'm blotting it up, and you can see I got a little mess going on there. So I go back in with a little bit more water, go over it one more time, and I take it off. And there it is. And I'm drying it, and you dry it with whatever you have. And so now I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the face color, and I'm just going to, clean that up a little bit where it might have smeared a little bit, because I really don't want that in there. But hey, if you're doing a mixed media face and you don't care, leave it smeary. So I'm adding a little bit more of the Bambi Brown in there and I'm adding a little bit of that face color in there to clean it up as well. And there's a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm just running it through, and I'm going over some of those paint lines on the outside from that marker. And you'll see, and I'm just smudging them out a little bit. And that just lightens them up a little bit. I want the neck. I like the neck there, where the face is, I like that. I'm going to have to add a little bit more shading there, but not on this run. And then I'm going to go back in with the marker. And I'm putting a little white highlight in the eye, because I love the white highlight. You can use paint on the back of your brush. You can use whatever you want. That was a jelly roll in white. And now I'm going back in, and I let that paint dry for a second, and then I go in and I draw. I'm not going to do the lip dip and all that kind of stuff on this one. I'm just putting it straight across. And there you go. Voila. Voila. Now I'm talking about eyelashes, and I'm kind of explaining to you about eyelashes. I don't do a lot of eyelashes for whatever reason. I think my wrists are too tight and all from the arthritis, and I can't flick like I want to flick. But I'm going to be trying and practicing on those. But I didn't put any on, but you could definitely do that. And I'm putting a little bit of the dark brown under the nostrils of the nose for a little bit of shadow. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Love you guys.